Hello and welcome. I am the Opinionated One, and today I will discuss a topic currently on many YouTubers and other denizens of the internet's minds: the Vox adpocalypse. The who, what, when, where, and how of it all. But ultimately, I wish to discuss the overarching theme, that is corporate censorship. Before I discuss this theme, corporate censorship, however, we must first set the stage for this whole situation. Approximately a week ago, give or take a few days, our first major character of this story, Carlos Maza, initiated a campaign against Steven Crowder to have Crowder's YouTube channel removed from the website. Who is Carlos Maza? Carlos Maza is a gay Latino man working as a journalist for the media company known as Vox. Maza is best known for his appearances on Vox's YouTube channel show, Strike Through, which covers various social and political issues from a left-wing perspective. This brings me to the other major character of the story, Steven Crowder, a conservative comedian who runs and hosts the show Louder with Crowder on his YouTube channel of the same name. Actually, his YouTube channel is Steven Crowder. However, Crowder is also either a partner or employee of Blaze TV, a conservative media outlet. I personally don't know off the top of my head if he is one or the other. I would appreciate somebody let me know in the comments below. Thanks. Moving on. So, what is the relationship between Crowder and Maza? Well, simply put, for the past 2 years, Crowder has been making response videos to Strike Through with his own comedic spin to it. So you might ask, why has Maza only now tried to do something about Crowder's criticisms and comedy? I propose that a number of factors lead to Maza's decision to target Crowder, and ultimately all other YouTube channels by proxy, whether intentional or otherwise. These factors include Vox Media's financial troubles, the recent establishment of the Vox Media Union, with Maza as a significant member in response to this, and possibly even the month of June in the US also being Pride Month, although I'll admit that last part may be a bit more conspiratorial. I believe that Maza, using Pride Month as a means to an end, was attempting to garner attention not just to himself but to the union as well, in order to get sympathy for its cause. But that's not all. I also believe his intentions were twofold. As I mentioned before, Crowder has made responses to Maza's Vox show before. In fact, it seems they had a somewhat friendly rivalry going on, until now. It seems that Maza, using Pride as a vehicle, is also attempting to have his political opponents censored. Whether this is all entirely for the union's sake or his own, I cannot speak to, but I think that his actions have clearly shown that journalism may as well be activism. Even Maza himself thinks so. What kind of activism is it? Well, lately the trend has been left-wing activism, with Maza being case in point. But to be more specific, it is pro-corporate, pro-censorship, and obviously very partisan activism, which combined has been proven to be very detrimental, not only to YouTube and the internet in general, but to political dialogue in the real world as well. These activists often pursue or even embed themselves in various corporations, mainly social media ones, and attempt to have their political rivals and even dissenters within their own ranks, per se, censored, deplatformed, financially restricted, or ruined in some manner, and even sometimes violently attacked. This brings me to the main reason for this video, and the corporate part of corporate censorship. Because of these often radical activists, many companies have either become ethical, or at least act as such when enough pressure is applied, like YouTube did in this case. What is an ethical corporation? An ethical corporation is a corporation that typically practices a form of applied ethics or professional ethics that examines ethical principles and morals or ethical problems that can arise in a business environment. Many companies today adhere to this principle, but what makes this situation more unique is that these companies often apply these ethics in such a way as to or at least attempt to, social engineer its customers, users, and so on. Social media being the biggest culprit. On numerous occasions, social media companies have moderated the content of their platforms in interesting ways. Facebook is well known for suspending and banning user accounts, groups, and pages of anti-establishment political alignment. Twitter has also been found to do these things in response to either activist pressure or even government pressure from foreign states, as we recently saw when China demanded the removal of anti-government accounts from Twitter, and Twitter acquiesced. YouTube has interestingly been better about not doing these things, but it seems with the adpocalypse we will be seeing that change. What these companies have in common is that, on the whole, all of these sites are run by people of the same political alignment that often act suspiciously like a trust, and their tendency to censor in one way or another those who would be in opposition to them, sometimes simultaneously, as was the case with Alex Jones, though Twitter took the longest to deplatform him, admittedly. Another thing these companies have in common is that they generally share the same rules and ethical approach to running their sites, which further implies that they act like a trust. Ultimately, whether they are actually acting like a trust is something I do not know enough about to confirm. But it is clear that those within these companies have their own goals and intentions in mind for how they think society should be, and will go out of their way to ensure that no one who opposes them, left or right, can speak out against them. The Vox adpocalypse isn't the first, nor will it be the last case of corporate censorship, and it is important that no matter what side you are on, that people must call this out for what it is. Establishment authoritarianism. I'll admit that I haven't covered nearly as much as I could have about the Vox adpocalypse, let alone the ongoing issue of corporate censorship, but I encourage you to check out other YouTube channels covering this, such as Tim Pool, Matt Christensen, and of course Sargon of God, among many others, for additional details on the Vox adpocalypse and the ongoing YouTube wars. With this video being the first, I plan to start a series of videos covering censorship, its history, the philosophies behind it, and of course its current iterations. I will also be covering other topics of interest to me, so keep an eye out on my Twitter at theopinionate13 for updates, and of course my hot takes on whatever's trending at the day. Lastly, please leave a like and comment below, and consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell for video updates. This has been the Opinionated One, sharing my opinions, and I hope to see you all again in the next video. Have a good day.